close your eyes? Now open them. Before you lies the ocean. A world that covers more than 80% of Earth's surface. Yet humanity has explored less than 10%. The rest is silence, darkness, and depths no one has ever touched. Since the dawn of time, humans have looked at the sea and asked, what lives down there? With no answers, we created stories. Monsters the size of islands. Tentacles like cathedral towers. Serpents that could coil around the earth itself. Faceless spirits rising from the abyss. We call them legends. But legends are not just fireside tales. They were carved into maps. Whispered in Norse sagas. Feared in Japanese folklore. Even today, they survive on the internet, in films, in games, and in our collective nightmares. Because one truth remains undeniable. The ocean hides more than we dare to imagine. Tonight, we descend into that world. From the Kraken and the world serpent, to the phantom of Antarctica, known as Ninjan, half legend, half mystery, all terrifying. So brace yourself. What comes next will take you into the deep. Into a world where light never reaches. A world of monsters born from fear and imagination. Octopus the Kraken. The first creature in our journey is the Kraken. For centuries, sailors whispered its name with trembling voices. Not just a giant squid, but a monster the size of an island. Eyes like glowing windows, tentacles as tall as towers. When the water began to churn and bubble, it was already too late. In Norse legend, the Kraken rose from the depths to drag entire ships below. Fishermen swore they had seen it circling in the waves. Old sea charts even marked it, not as myth, but as a warning. Here there be monsters. But was it only legend? In the early 2000s, cameras finally captured the real giant squid, Architeuthis. Its body stretched more than 40 feet. Its eyes, the size of dinner plates. And yet, even that creature was only a shadow of the Kraken described in legend. From pirate tales, to pirates of the Caribbean, to god of war, the Kraken endures. Because the sea is vast, and our fear of what lurks beneath has never left us. Snake Jormungandr, the world serpent. Next, we face a serpent so massive, it encircles the earth. Its name is Jormungandr, the world serpent of Norse mythology. Born of the trickster god Loki, brother to Hel and Fenrir, Jormungandr was cast into the sea by Odin. There it grew, until its body wrapped around the planet. Jaws locked onto its own tail. But it does not sleep. It waits. Because when it rises, Ragnarok begins. The end of the world. On that day, Jormungandr will face Thor. The thunder god will strike the serpent down. But after 9 steps, poison, he too will fall. Legends like this do not appear by accident. For centuries, Norse sailors swore they saw sea serpents, longer than villages. Even in the 1800s, Icelandic fishermen reported beasts writhing through the waves. Today, the world serpent has found new life in games and stories. But behind the myth lies a deeper fear. That something vast, ancient, and unstoppable could surround us, while we remain unaware. Man-standing Ninjan, the Antarctic phantom. Some legends are ancient, others are born in our own time. The Ninjan is one of them. In the 2000s, Japanese whaling crews returned with whispers. They claimed to have seen pale shapes, sliding beneath the Antarctic waves. Not fish, not whales, something different. A body, smooth and white like snow. Limbs too long. A face with no eyes. No mouth. Almost human, yet terrifyingly wrong. They called it Ninjan, meaning simply, human. Soon, blurry photographs and grainy videos began to spread online. A shadow drifting under the ice. A pale figure crawling from the water's edge. Was it proof, or just imagination? Skeptics point to icebergs, or giant stingrays. But for believers, the Ninjan is more than myth. They say it could be a secret species, hidden in the frozen south. Or worse, a government cover-up, protecting knowledge of what truly lives beneath the Antarctic ice. Like Slenderman or Mothman, the Ninjan has become an internet-age monster. But unlike them, its home is real, an ocean we barely touch. An ocean where anything could still be hiding. Wave the blue, a sound from the deep. Not all monsters are seen. Some are only heard. In 1997, Hydrophones deep in the Pacific recorded a sound. It was so loud, it echoed across thousands of miles of ocean. Scientists named it the bloop. The frequency was organic, not mechanical, not an earthquake, but no known creature could have produced it. It was louder than a blue whale, the largest animal ever to live on Earth. Imagine something larger, something moving, alive, calling from the deep. For years, the bloop haunted forums and documentaries. Was it a squid bigger than ships? A creature older than mankind? A myth reborn? Eventually, NOAA claimed it was ice, massive icebergs cracking and shifting in the Southern Ocean. But many remain unconvinced, because the bloop was not just noise. It was a voice. And if the ocean can still produce sounds we cannot explain, what else waits in the dark? Unheard? Merperson sirens, voices of the sea. Long before satellites, long before hydrophones, sailors had only stories, and the sea has always whispered stories of voices. The sirens. In Greek legend, they waited on lonely islands, singing songs so sweet, sailors forgot their homes, their families, their very lives. They followed the voices, and their ships shattered on the rocks. Were they women? Were they birds? Were they fish? Accounts differ, but all agree. The sirens meant death. Even today, fishermen speak of voices in the fog. Songs with no source. Laughter carried across empty seas. Explanations range from birds, to wind over the waves, to hallucination. But ask yourself, why do so many cultures tell the same story? From Greece to Ireland, from Japan to Polynesia, always a woman's voice, always luring men to their doom. Coincidence? Or memory of something real, echoing through centuries? New Moon Umabozu, the sea priest. Across the world, Japanese sailors feared a different figure. Not a voice, but a shadow. On calm nights, when the waves went still, a giant form would rise from the sea. A head, bald, black, glistening like wet stone, eyes wide, mouth silent. The Umabozu. If you bowed, if you prayed, perhaps it would let you live. But if you mocked it, the sea priest would smash your boat with waves as tall as mountains. Some said it was the spirit of drowned monks, returned to punish the living. Others believed it was simply the ocean itself, taking shape to remind humans of their place. No matter the truth, the warning was clear: respect the sea, or the sea will claim you. Dragon Ogopogo, the serpent of Okanagan. In the misty waters of Canada's Okanagan Lake, locals whisper a name, Ogopogo. To some, it's just a song from the 1920s. But to others, it's a creature older than Canada itself. Witnesses describe a long, dark serpent, sometimes 20, even 30 feet long. It coils, it undulates, and then, it vanishes beneath the lake. The First Nations called it Inha-Aitk, the water demon. They believed it demanded sacrifices, that travelers had to feed it to cross the waters safely. Skeptics point to waves, logs, even swimming deer, but the stories keep coming. Photographs, videos, sightings by families, police officers, tourists. How many coincidences does it take before a legend becomes something more? Snake Loch Ness Monster, the world's most famous shadow. Half a world away, in Scotland, lies Loch Ness. Deep, cold, black as ink, and in that water lives a legend known across the world, Nessie. The first written account dates back to the year 565. A monk wrote of a water beast dragging men to their deaths. Since then, the sightings never stopped. In 1934 came the famous surgeon's photograph, a long neck rising above the waves. Later proven a hoax. But the hoax didn't kill the monster. It made it stronger. Because the truth is, thousands of witnesses over centuries describe the same thing. A massive creature, long neck, humped back, moving just beneath the surface. Science says Loch Ness is too small to support a giant predator. Skeptics say it's nothing but eels, birds, boats, or imagination. And yet, sonar scans show unexplained shapes. Divers speak of movement in the depths. And people keep watching the water, waiting. Perhaps the greatest monster of all is not what lurks in the lake, but the human need to believe it's there. In 1997, in the cold silence of the Pacific, Microphones placed by the US Navy to track submarines heard something else. A sound, so loud, so deep, it could be heard across the ocean. Scientists named it the bloop. At first, they thought it was mechanical, a machine, or an explosion, but the signature was organic, alive. For years, theories spread like wildfire. Could it be a giant whale, larger than anything known to science? Or something even bigger, something no human has ever seen? Writers and filmmakers turned it into myth, an unseen leviathan rising from the dark. A real-life monster calling from the abyss. Then, in 2012, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, announced the official explanation. They said the bloop was the sound of shifting ice, glaciers cracking as they moved into the sea. Logical, scientific, case closed. But for many, the answer felt too neat, too convenient, because ice doesn't sound like breathing. Ice doesn't sound alive, and so the question lingers. If the bloop wasn't just ice, then what still swims, unheard, in the deepest black of the Pacific? We all know the image. A beautiful woman with a shimmering tail, combing her hair on a rock beneath the moon. The mermaid, a creature of song, beauty, and longing. But the oldest legends tell a darker story. Sailors spoke of voices on the wind, melodies so sweet they made men leap into the sea. Not to embrace love, but to drown. The sirens of Greece, the Rusalki of Slavic rivers, the Ningyo of Japan, whose flesh was said to grant eternal youth, at the price of a cursed, shortened life. Across cultures, the story repeats. A woman, half human, half something else, dwelling where no man belongs. To see her is a gift. To follow her is death. Even today, there are whispers. Fishermen in Indonesia, in the Caribbean, in the cold waters of Scandinavia, claiming sightings of pale figures beneath the waves. Strange shapes, too human to be fish, too alien to be ours. Science dismisses it all as myth. But myths that appear everywhere, across time and oceans, are rarely just coincidence. So we're left to wonder. Are mermaids only stories we tell ourselves? Or is there still something waiting, singing, just beneath the surface? In the waters off South America, sailors whisper about a beast they call El Grande Maha. A monster of impossible size, said to rise like a mountain from the sea. Its skin dark and rough as volcanic rock. Those who claim to have seen it describe a single eye glowing red through the storm. Watching from the waves, not a whale, not a squid, but something else entirely. A living continent that moves. Thousands of miles away, in the frozen Southern Ocean, a different legend stirs. The Japanese call it Ninjin, the human. But it is no man. Witnesses aboard whaling ships tell of pale shapes gliding beneath the ice. 50, maybe 100 feet long. With arms. With a face disturbingly like our own. Fishermen say the Ninjin rises silently at night, drifting on the surface like a corpse the size of a battleship. Some describe hands, 5 fingers, webbed and white, pressing against the hull of their ships. Others claim it watches them with blank eyes, as if deciding whether to let them live or pull them under. Governments dismiss the stories, but rumors persist. Of satellite photos blurred before release. Of research vessels that vanished in Antarctic waters. Their last radio message cut short by static and screams. 2 monsters, worlds apart, El Grande Maha and the Ninjin. Both giants, both shadows of the sea, and both raising the same question. Are they myths born from fear? Or guardians of the deep, older than humanity, rising only when we trespass too far into their domain? We have journeyed through the shadows of the ocean, from the kraken's crushing tentacles, to the serpents of myth, to creatures that science once dismissed, but now can't fully explain. Some were legends, born from the fears of sailors. Others were real, predators like Megalodon and Titanoboa, whose bones proved they once ruled both sea and land. And some, like the bloop or the Ninjin, still linger on the edge of mystery, leaving only fragments of sound. Or fleeting witness accounts. The ocean keeps its secrets well. Even today, more than 80% of the seafloor remains unexplored. For all our satellites, submarines, and science, the deep still hides things we are not meant to see. So, what are these monsters to us? Warnings? Guardians? Or simply mirrors of our imagination? Projected into the abyss? One truth remains. Until we dare to uncover every trench and silence every shadow, the ocean will always whisper back with monsters. Now, I leave you with the question. Do you believe they are only myths? Or do you think something still waits, watching, in the dark below?